Run wild, run free. The skies beneath our feet. Run wild, run free.
Don't blink or you'll miss it. Today we're covering my personal favorite bird, the Peregrine Falcon. This creature with its signature black mallard stripes, gray and white feathers, and sleek streamlined body is the pinnacle of the evolution of flight and speed. The peregrine's scientific name is Falco peregrinus, meaning wandering falcon. This name fits perfectly because peregrines are found on every continent except Antarctica, making them one of the most widespread birds on Earth. Scientists recognize numerous peregrine subspecies across the globe, with different populations varying in size, coloration, migration patterns, and habitat preference depending on their region. From Arctic tundras to massive cities, coastal cliffs to desert canyons, these falcons have conquered nearly every environment imaginable. Peregrines belong to the family Falconidae, a group of fast, predatory birds that includes kestrels, merlins, caracaras, and other falcons. Within that family, the peregrine is considered one of the most specialized aerial hunters ever evolved. Peregrines didn't just adapt to the skies, they mastered them. The peregrine falcon is the fastest animal on planet Earth. During its hunting dive, known as a stooping dive, it can reach speeds exceeding 240 miles per hour. That's faster than a Formula One car, faster than most roller coasters, and faster than a skydiver in free fall. When peregrines fold their wings back and plummet toward prey, they become living missiles. Scientists have studied their aerodynamics extensively because their bodies are practically built like fighter jets. Their nostrils even contain small bony structures called tubercles that help regulate air pressure during high-speed dives, essentially preventing them from suffocating while traveling at extreme velocity. And speaking of evolution, here's something most people don't know. Falcons aren't actually closely related to hawks or eagles. Despite looking similar, genetic studies revealed that falcons are more closely related to parrots and songbirds than to other birds of prey, like hawks, eagles, or owls. That means the peregrine falcon's hunting lifestyle evolved independently through a process known as convergent evolution, when unrelated animals develop similar adaptations because they occupy similar ecological roles. Both falcons and hawks became specialized aerial predators, but they arrived at that role through completely separate evolutionary pathways millions of years apart. And the differences become even more fascinating when you compare how they hunt. Hawks and eagles typically kill using crushing grip strength from massive talons. Falcons evolved a different strategy entirely. Members of the genus Falco possess a specialized notch on the beak called a tomial tooth, which helps them dispatch prey with a precise bite to the neck. Their wings are different too, long, narrow, and tapered for extreme speed pursuit rather than efficient soaring. The peregrine's entire anatomy reflects its lifestyle. Its streamlined body reduces drag, stiff feathers maintain stability during dives, and its tail functions like a rudder, allowing mid-air corrections at incredible speeds. Peregrines must also withstand extreme gravitational forces during pullouts at the end of a dive, forces powerful enough to disorient many other animals. Basically, evolution built a high-speed predator that's closer to Polly-wants-a-cracker than it is to eagle eyes. That's wild. Even its eyes are specialized, protected by a transparent third eyelid called a nictitating membrane that works like built-in goggles. Its vision is also absolutely ridiculous. Peregrines can spot small birds from over a mile away. Their eyesight is estimated to be roughly 8 times sharper than normal human vision. Imagine being able to read a license plate from across several football fields. That's the level we're talking about. And once they lock onto a target, it's usually over. The falcon also has dark marks along its head and face. These are called mallard stripes. The marks help reduce glare from the sun, making it much easier to pinpoint fast, agile prey against bright skies. It should also be noted that depending on the region they inhabit, the mallard stripes on a peregrine falcon can vary in size and darkness. Birds that live in places with higher levels of sunlight have significantly larger and darker mallard stripes, for instance. Their main diet consists almost entirely of other birds: pigeons, shorebirds, ducks, starlings. If it flies, it's potentially on the menu. And how they hunt their prey is incredible! The peregrine has a few tricks up its feathers. One of their most commonly employed tactics is the stoop. They chase after their prey before rising suddenly, high above its target, before folding back its wings and entering a near vertical dive. During the descent, it becomes a living torpedo. Right before impact, the peregrine strikes with clenched talons at such extreme speed that the blow can instantly stun, cripple, or kill another bird mid-air. This is a literal punch. When a peregrine balls its talons into a tight muscular fist and strikes, it generates an insane amount of kinetic energy. The second method is the opposite. The peregrine will circle sometimes hundreds or even thousands of feet until it finds a suitable catch. Then once it locks onto a target, it begins the pursuit. The difference here is that instead of rising, the falcon will fly underneath its desired prey. Then, when it least expects it, the peregrine will shoot upward and grab the bird with its talons. Every hunting strategy the peregrine uses revolves around the same core principle: velocity. This bird doesn't just chase prey, it weaponizes physics, and it's clear that nature did not cut corners designing this bird. Now, let's talk about their habitat. Peregrine falcons naturally nest on tall coastal cliffs and mountain ledges, but in modern times they become surprisingly urban. Skyscrapers, bridges, cathedrals, and office towers mimic natural cliff faces perfectly. Cities also provide an endless supply of pigeons, which is basically a peregrine buffet. In places like New York City, Chicago, and Philadelphia, peregrines have become full-time urban hunters. Some even nest on skyscrapers hundreds of feet above busy streets. And urban environments have changed peregrine ecology in fascinating ways. Historically, peregrines nested almost exclusively on remote sea cliffs, mountain faces, and canyon walls. But modern cities accidentally recreated those conditions perfectly. Skyscrapers mimic vertical cliff faces, bridges resemble rocky ledges, artificial lighting extends hunting opportunities, and massive populations of pigeons provide a constant food source year-round. The crazy part is that some urban peregrines now spend their entire lives without seeing a natural cliff. Biologists have even observed behavioral differences between urban and rural peregrines. City falcons often become more tolerant of human activity, more aggressive toward competing birds, and more specialized in hunting feral pigeons. In certain cities, peregrines have become apex urban predators, patrolling concrete canyons the same way their ancestors once ruled coastal cliffs. Human civilization accidentally created a new ecosystem, and the peregrine adapted to it almost perfectly. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. During the mid-20th century, peregrine falcon populations collapsed across much of North America and Europe. The main culprit was DDT, a widely used pesticide introduced after World War II. DDT entered ecosystems through insects and fish, then moved up the food chain into different animals until it reached birds. Because peregrines eat other birds, they accumulated massive concentrations of the chemical through biomagnification. The result was their eggshells became dangerously thin. Adult falcons would accidentally crush their own eggs during incubation. Entire generations failed to hatch. By the 1970s, peregrines had vanished from large parts of the eastern United States. In some regions, they were functionally extinct. One of the greatest aerial predators ever evolved was being driven toward extinction by human chemical pollution. But then, the legendary conservationists fought back. Following scientific research and public pressure, DDT was banned in the United States in 1972. But banning the chemical alone wasn't enough. In many regions, peregrines were already gone. So, conservationists turned to one of the most ambitious bird recovery programs ever attempted. Falconers, ornithologists, zoos, and wildlife organizations began captive breeding programs designed to rebuild peregrine populations from the ground up. One of their most important techniques was something called hacking. Despite the name, it has nothing to do with computers. Hacking is a controlled release method originally derived from ancient falconry practices. Young peregrines, usually raised in captivity, were placed inside artificial nest boxes built on cliffs, towers, or tall structures. The birds could see and hear the outside world, but they remained protected while developing their flight feathers and muscles. Conservationists would feed the young falcons without allowing excessive human contact so the birds would not imprint on people. Then, once they were old enough, the nest boxes were opened, and the falcons took their first flights into the wild. Even after leaving the box, food continued to be provided nearby until the juveniles learned to hunt independently. This process allowed entire generations of peregrines to be reintroduced into regions where the species had completely disappeared. It was slow and expensive, meticulously coordinated, but it worked. The peregrine falcon became one of the greatest conservation recoveries in modern zoological history. By 1999, the species was officially removed from the U.S. endangered species list. Today, peregrines once again soar over cities, coastlines, rivers, and mountains across the world. That recovery proved something important. When humanity actually decides to repair environmental damage, nature can recover. This would become important later down the line when dealing with other endangered species. Now, let's talk ethology, the study of animal behavior. Peregrines are solitary, highly territorial predators, especially during breeding season. Mated pairs defend large nesting territories aggressively against other raptors, ravens, crows, and sometimes even humans who wander too close. Pairs often mate for life and return to the same nesting site year after year. Their nest, known as a scrape, is surprisingly simple. Instead of building massive stick structures like eagles, peregrines usually create a shallow depression in gravel, sand, or loose debris along a cliff edge or ledge. Despite their reputation as ruthless predators, peregrines display complex courtship behaviors. Males perform elaborate aerial displays involving spirals, rapid dives, and mid-air food transfers to females. Some pairs engage in coordinated flight patterns that strengthen pair bonds before nesting begins. Females are significantly larger than males, sometimes by nearly 1/3 of the male's body weight. This form of sexual dimorphism helps reduce competition between mates since males often hunt smaller birds, while females can target larger prey. Baby peregrines, called eyases, hatch covered in white down and develop rapidly. Within weeks, they begin flapping their wings, exercising their leg muscles, and exploring the nest ledge. Eventually comes fledging day. And imagine what that means for a young peregrine. Your first flying lesson is literally, "Alright kid, time to become a 240-mile-per-hour projectile." No pressure! Now, for creature comparison time. The Peregrine Falcon versus the bald eagle, Haliaeetus leucocephalus. These two birds may share the sky, but they represent completely different styles of predation. The Peregrine Falcon is a specialist built around speed, precision, and mid-air interception. The bald eagle is a heavyweight opportunist built around power, reach, and dominance. Adult bald eagles can reach wingspans over 7 feet wide and weigh more than 14 pounds, making them several times heavier than a peregrine falcon. Their broad wings are designed for efficient soaring rather than rapid pursuit. Instead of burning energy in constant flight, eagles exploit thermal currents to glide across huge distances with minimal effort. And their feet are absolutely monstrous. A bald eagle's talons can exert hundreds of pounds of pressure per square inch, powerful enough to pierce fish, crush waterfowl, and carry prey weighing several pounds. That grip is about 10 times stronger than a human's for comparison. Their rear talon, known as the hallux claw, functions like a biological hook designed to prevent escaping prey from breaking free. While peregrines specialize in hunting birds mid-air, bald eagles primarily hunt fish. Their toes possess rough, spiny structures called spicules that help grip slippery prey, like trout and salmon. Some eagles have even been recorded swimming through water after catching fish too heavy to lift into the air. But bald eagles aren't only hunters. They're also kleptoparasites, meaning they frequently steal food from other predators. Ospreys in particular are common victims. Eagles will harass them mid-flight until the smaller bird drops its fish, then snatch the meal out of the air before it hits the water. Peregrines rule through aerodynamics. Bald eagles rule through intimidation. Even their nests reflect their different lifestyles. Peregrines build simple scrapes along cliff faces or tall structures. Bald eagles construct massive stick nests called eyries that can reach over 9 feet wide and weigh more than a ton after years of reuse and expansion, making them among the largest bird nests on Earth. And their combat strategies couldn't be more different. A peregrine ends fights quickly through speed and surgical precision. A bald eagle relies on sheer physical dominance. One is a precision-guided missile. The other is an armored battleship with wings. And despite sharing the title of apex aerial predator, their evolutionary histories took very different paths. The bald eagle descends from a lineage of soaring raptors built for strength and endurance. The peregrine falcon evolved into a hyper-specialized pursuit predator designed to weaponize gravity itself. Two completely different solutions to conquering the sky. In a strength contest, eagle wins. In a speed contest, the peregrine doesn't even see the competition. Ecologically, peregrines play a major role in controlling populations of medium-sized birds, especially pigeons and starlings in urban areas. As apex aerial predators, they help maintain balance in ecosystems by preventing certain bird species from overpopulating. And culturally, humans have admired peregrines for thousands of years. Falconry using peregrines dates back over 3,000 years ago across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Kings, nobles, warriors, and hunters valued them for their intelligence, precision, and hunting ability. Even today, falconers consider the peregrine one of the most elite hunting birds on Earth. Honestly, fair enough. This bird is evolution refined into a weaponized missile with feathers. Why wouldn't this guy be a supreme flyer? No, scratch that. Animal, period. Okay, here we have a peregrine falcon. It is very hard to see, but oh, there is the falcon. Oh my gosh, This is the closest I've ever been to Falco Peregrinus, aka the Peregrine Falcon. Ooh, Education Ambassador. Awesome.
Artemis a girl?
Well, I mean, the Greek goddess Artemis is a girl, definitely. But Artemis here is, let's see. Okay, this is a male. This is a male Peregrine Falcon, which means that this is a lot smaller than a female. Right over there. See in the corner?
Which corner?
Like all the way back there. Awesome. These things can fly at 240 miles an hour. That is awesome. Okay, now that is one thing off my bucket list.
What other pets you want to see?
I mean, they have like other things other than, well, other animals other than birds, so. Now, for my final thoughts. The Peregrine Falcon represents nature at its most precise. Every part of its body, from its wings to its vision to its hunting style, exists for one purpose: mastering the sky. It is speed, efficiency, adaptation, and evolution perfected through millions of years. But its story also carries a warning. Human activity nearly erased one of Earth's greatest predators in just a few decades. Pollution, habitat destruction, and ecological neglect can destroy even the strongest species faster than we realize. Thankfully, the Peregrine Falcon also proves something else. Conservation works. When science, public awareness, and environmental protection come together, recovery is possible. Species can return. Ecosystems can heal. Extinction is not always the end, if action comes in time. Now, after nearly vanishing from huge parts of the world, the Peregrine Falcon rules the skies again. Praise the Sky Hunter! And that concludes today's Creature Pod on the Falco Peregrinus, my favorite bird of all time. Thanks for joining me. If you're into wildlife, both cute, weird, or cool, stick around for more creature deep dives because every animal has a story that needs to be told. Please feel free to subscribe as well. And of course, remember, to be wild means to be free.